from America's finest city. This is Real Talk San Diego on ESPN 1700.
Hey, what's happening, gang? You are live, and this is The Secret Stash. I'm your host, Jesse Avanias, co-founder of the GreenHouse Group, and we're helping folks get into and out of homes right here in the heart of San Diego, moving people with purpose. And in the studio live today, I've got my man, Jeremy back. Now, Jeremy holds down all things finance inside this conversation. And what we're going to be talking about today is specifically in the gamut of real estate. We're going to be talking about a little mid-year checkup. Now, in your purview, you might be thinking, hey, it's only June right now, just getting, the party started. But in real estate, it's like July's already over, because everything sort of happens in at least a 30-day lag, if not maybe even more appropriately 60 or a 90-day lag. And what I got Jeremy in the studio to talk about today, Real Talk Radio San Diego, is it too late? Is it too late? This is what some folks are calling up right now, and they seem to be on their mind, whether you're in the category of buyer or whether you're in the category of seller. Is it too late? And so we're going to vet through some of these numbers right now because, our whole take on this is that there's always three stories. There's your take, there's my take, and there's truth that's probably somewhere in the middle. And so Jer, okay, I want you to head up for the panel today, the mortgage wing of things. Okay,
Sure.
So we want you talking finance.
Okay.
And then I'll try to pull my weight over here with the whole real estate wing of things. And then maybe we'll fulfill our goal every Tuesday here, which is to leave folks a little bit better than how we found them, with the clarity of knowing if you're in that buyer camp or sell camp, what is best for you right now. Jeremy Beck.
Hey, buddy.
Your fans adore you.
Yeah.
But if maybe someone's checking in for the first time right now and they don't know who you are, what you do, perhaps you could introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks again for having me on the show. It's fun to be here.
Yeah.
By title, I'm a mortgage planner. What that means is that I make it my purpose to take people from where they are to where they want to be in the financing conversation. And that could be in a couple of different arenas. It could be refinance, meaning they want to make a better scenario for themselves without moving. Maybe they're making a move, talking to somebody like you. They want to get some good advice in terms of the best purchase, money strategies. And then even a lot of people just call me to chat about stuff. It's funny. Past clients will call and talk about money. Mm-hmm. And so I find myself in that conversation a lot. So consultant, mortgage planner, that sort of thing.
Well, and I appreciate you for coming in and sharing your contribution to this conversation. Speaking of contributions to the conversation, though, my man Adrian right now has got us streaming live on a little buddy we like to call Meerkat. And if you're not hip to the Meerkat game, basically it's a live streaming app you can download for free, and you've got us live in the studio. It's also connected to Twitter, so you're welcome to ask us any questions live right there in Meerkat by following us at Follow the Stash. That's FOLLOW. We actually spell it correctly. I know that's not the cool thing to do nowadays. Follow the Stash over on Twitter. Excited to have your contributions. Yeah,
you're getting old when you start hearing some words you've never heard before.
Yeah,
just in passing. All the kids are doing it.
All the kids are doing it, Jer. And hopefully they'll be doing it on this conversation as well, because you bring up a good point about millennials, kids. Nice little segue you saw I just did right there.
Yeah, no, it was me.
And a lot of folks who are, transitioning out of college right now, maybe getting into the workforce, or maybe not. Some of the recent studies are saying it's tougher to find a job right now, good paying job, especially to help to offset the college debt they probably racked up, are kind of in stall mode right now. Okay, so I want to start this conversation off with the buyer's perspective. So for a buyer right now, checking in midsummer 2015, is it too late?
Oh, man. I feel like everybody I meet right now asks me that question. And maybe they don't even ask me, maybe they just tell me, like, I think it's too late, but I want to see if I could try to buy still. It's a great question, man. And one of the things that I think is driving that sensation are home prices. And I know that you're going to be a little bit more privy to that sort of thing than I am, but the idea that when someone comes in and they want to buy in San Diego, that baseline number where they're like, okay, I got to at least get to this, it's going up. So I think that people are putting that into perspective and they're saying, oh man, maybe I missed the boat.
Well, if we're talking about first-time buyers, a couple stats. I like kind of digging into the math of all this stuff. First-time buyers were actually the largest percentage of purchasers over the last year.
Yeah.
It was just over 50%, which is great because doesn't it kind of dethrone that entire conversation that's happening right now around the fact that no first-time buyers are coming and buying homes.
Right.
And I know that's your experience too, because you actually specialize in first-time buyers with your real estate finance practice. So then what is it about then? Is it that rents are also cheap?
Yeah, that's not true. That probably when people say like, hey, I know it's expensive to buy, but my rent just went up again. I mean, people are coming in with $2,000 a month in rent. You can easily buy a home with that figure. It's crazy, the disparity there between the ownership and the renting costs, especially with the curve they're on and going up constantly.
Well, here's a staggering stat to kind of back that up a little bit. So in 2011, okay, you can kind of remember 2011. You were probably about 49 years old.
Yeah, early 40s. Yeah.
Kidding. Meerkat will catch you and let you know you're doing a lot better than that. But it dipped down to its recent low. And when I say it, I mean the median asking rent price.
Okay.
Yeah. Dipped down, and it was right around $690 ish. Okay. And over the course of the last 1, 2, 3 years, now most recent data has got us at the end of 2014, it's skyrocketed up to $760. Now, that might not...
That's over 3 years?
Yeah. That might not feel like a lot because you're looking at your month, you're like, well, that's basically just a difference of what? Almost not even $100. But when you extrapolate that over the entire economy, that is a gigantic jump in rent. And that, remind you, is also statewide. And in San Diego,
Sure.
we know it's actually off the chains.
Yeah.
So rent's going up. I mean, I feel like you said everybody who talked about it, what I hear a lot of people say is that usually the impetus for reaching out and trying to buy their first home is that they say, guess what? Just got a notice from my landlord. They're going to raise the rent by $100, $150.
So I work in percentages almost always. That's how I equate movement, because sometimes the dollar figure doesn't translate. Can you give me those two numbers again?
Yeah, so it was, let me see if I can do it. 690, let's just call it. It was right under 690, and then it jumped up to 760.
760.
Yeah.
So just real quick, that is 10% almost.
Okay.
Moving from that. And that's, I imagine that in those 3 years, people did not get increased income of 10%.
Well, yeah, you would
you're
hope
talking about
so,
affordability,
but probably
right?
not. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big part of connecting those dots. And on the other side of it, you had mentioned price appreciation. So in the state of California over the last 12 months, the data has us up 7.5%. Okay? So you as a buyer look at that, you go, no way, dude. I'm not going to be left holding the check. It's already at its cap. It's already at its peak, right?
Yeah.
But if you look a little more close, over the last quarter, it dropped all the way down to only 2%. And if you look just from the last month, it's still up, but it's actually dropped down again to only 1.6% in your mind. Now, we're in the peak season right now. Mm-hmm. So this is month over month. And so there's a couple different things you can see from that. Either we're at our absolute tippy-top peak, and it couldn't jump up anymore from those crazy levels, couldn't sustain them. And it's sort of flattening out a little bit,
Sure.
which would make you think maybe it's coming back down, which could be true.
Sure.
We don't have a crystal ball, definitely not allotted to us here for this show. But the other side of that is rent versus own. If you're renting, it usually always makes sense, especially with the rates being so low right now, to own. And the rates is really the key factor, is it not?
Yeah, no doubt. They're super low. And when you start penciling out the math, when I meet with people, I usually don't ask them what they want to pay for a home. I ask them how much they want to spend, right? Because I think you're writing the check every month. What else are you going to do? So it doesn't matter if it's $300,000 or $400,000. How much are you writing the check for every month? Because that's how you rent.
And that's why if you're thinking about writing any checks in the gamut of real estate, you got to reach out and you got to connect with somebody who knows the numbers first. We call it the purchase power.
Yep.
And you got to get that clarity, because if you don't have clarity, you're not going to be able to have vision. And I don't know anybody who's able to actually go out and conjure up the vision on how to buy a house if you don't have the clarity with the numbers first. And that's what my man Jeremy Beck does as he holds it down as the mortgage planner over at the GreenHouse Group. You can catch him, by the way, anytime at 858-863-0261. Let me give you a number out one more time. It's 858-863-0261. Cooking up mortgage plans, first-time buyers, and all the like, right? That's probably your biggest group, though, first-time buyers?
Well, most recently, yeah.
Most recently,
Yeah.
right. So, Jer, coming up, okay, a couple things now. If we've got the buyers in context, maybe that vote's still out a little bit. We'll see if we can maybe dig a little bit deeper to get some clarity on that. What about the sellers?
Mm-hmm.
For the sellers right now, is it too late for the sellers?
Right.
And we got a couple things I want to hit you with, if you'll allow me. Coming right back, Real Talk Radio San Diego. You are live in the stash, baby, and we'll be right back.